So, response video time, because these are fun to do, and this one kind of got me fired up, like a lot of these always do, at random. So yes, hello again everybody, Sammy here, as I'm Skullgrim back again for another video, responding to many of these random topics that always pop up and that always perk my ears up whenever they are there. Responding to Smusno again. Haven't done that in a while. He brought up a topic regarding certain things and how this collecting thing all falls into place. Where are you at the moment with YouTube, life, and your collection? All these three things that form one big question. So let's break them down in the order that they're in. YouTube. Where am I with YouTube at the moment? Well, let's see. Where am I with YouTube at the moment? To be really honest, I do use YouTube a lot, and I rely on YouTube as my main source of influence and entertainment. Like pretty much half of the entire human populace is done at this point. YouTube has now become a source of entertainment for us to watch videos and all that sort of thing. But in regards to being a content maker, am I one of those? I'm very so-so about it. I want to get back into making videos again. I miss the whole video making thing, and I occasionally, whenever there's a topic that's brought up, I always try and respond to it in my own way and try and make sense of the topic that I'm trying to divulge into. And sometimes that can go very well, and sometimes that can sometimes I can go well, sometimes I can go a little bit pear-shaped. But as a content maker, I don't know. I mean, I like YouTube. I think YouTube is a great platform, I think, for entertainment and for performers to get their start, compared to how it was maybe 20 years ago when we didn't even have this sort of thing at that point. But where am I with YouTube? I like YouTube, and I really want to get back into it. But I mean, it's a case of what to talk about and how to make the content that you're trying to talk about interesting, that's appealing in a way that it stands out. And that's always going to be the issue, is that if you're a content maker and you want to make something on YouTube, you got to try and at least have some appeal to the audience you're trying to get to. You got to make sure that you please the audience you're trying to cater to, which is always a double-edged idea, which is you can't please everybody, and that's always the problem. Is that you can't really give people what they say that they want. You can only give them what they need, and that's all you can do, and what have you. And I think that with YouTube and how that plays into my life and what I do with this and how I've been doing it in all these years since I've been making these videos, and you've seen the changes to me and my life and all that sort of thing. And I don't know. I mean, I like YouTube, and I really want to get back into doing videos. I've said so many times that I said I would get back into making this, that, and the other. Never had the time, or just didn't have the motivation to do it. And there I go again, saying the same thing over again and saying I will do this. But it never comes to the surface. I was gonna say it never comes to a point. I mean, that's kind of racy, so let's kind of pass that aside. It never comes to a point where if you want to get what you're trying to say out there, then you really got to try and stand out a little bit and make yourself stand out in some way. And so with YouTube, I think for me, I miss doing this. I like doing this, and I hope that I try to get out there in some way for people to watch, if they are still watching my channel. Just give them something that is worth watching and that expresses an opinion that's valid and justified. So I think that's always the issue with YouTube. Life for the moment for me. Life. You know, I really can't complain about life at the moment. Life is so-so. There are a few problems in my life that I don't really want to talk about, but that's on a personal reason. and that's purely down to me. So I won't make that the issue. But as for life in general, yeah, I mean, things are progressing as okay as they could. They could be better, but I'm working on that as on myself. So that's all that falls down to me and how I want to change my life and make it better. And I want to make some changes this year and see if I can get that moving and make it look better than it was the last few years. I said I was going to do something and never do it. And finally, my collection. And this is an interesting topic because where I sit with my collection of Transformers toys and where I sit with my collection of other things at the moment. Well, the thing is with me and Transformers collecting, I've not really had any interest in collecting any Transformers anymore because I've kind of got virtually almost everything that I need, and I don't really need anything else. And I haven't, since the release of the recent lines like the Siege, War for Cybertron line, and the bots and all that sort of thing, I have not really had the inclination to buy a Transformers toy until, hang on a second, I will get out what I'm trying to show you, and you'll see what I have bought. It's not much, but it's kind of really all I want at this point because they are characters that I really like from an era in Transformers that no longer exists and is kind of maligned in some small way. A little while ago, I bought these guys, Darkwing and Dreadwind. I don't know the Blackwing or whatever. I don't keep up with the current names for these guys. I refer to them as they are. So anyway, yeah, I bought these two guys, Darkwing and Dreadwind, the Power of the Primes versions. Originally, I had planned to buy the G1 versions of the toys, but unfortunately, because you know how G1 toys are, they go up to a very expensive price to the point where you can't buy them. They are just very hard to find in perfect, pristine condition, and on top of all that, they're just too expensive. A lot of the G1 toys always are. So the only thing I could do really was just settle for the alternative and just buy the recent updated versions of these guys. And honestly, I really like them. I really like these two toys. I like them not because of what they are, but because of who they are, which falls akin to what I like in Transformers, which isn't necessarily the toys. It's more about the characters and where they come from and how they've impacted the consumer of the product. Because these two guys were popular in the Marvel era, in the Marvel comics of Transformers, where they were just two depressed drunks. This one and this one, and I love these two characters because they just seem like the archetype of what 80s buddy films were in that era, and I don't know why, but for some reason whenever I think of Darkwing and Dreadwind, I think of John Candy and Steve Martin. It was kind of bizarre. I know. If you've ever seen Trains, Planes, and Automobiles, that's kind of why. And yeah, so collecting wise, I just don't collect anymore. I mean, I don't need. See, here's the thing with me and Transformers at the moment. Whenever I do get involved in the interest in Transformers, it's only purely from an observer stand at this point. I don't need any of the toys. None of the fiction has grabbed me like it would. I read the recent comic that came out, and it was it's starting off at a very so-so pace. I'm keeping an eye on it just to see where it's going, but even then, I'm really not that keen about it. All the success of the people that are making it, though, because if it's able to kick off a new something new, then fine. Will it be as good as the previous continuity? Probably not. But if it's doing something different, then great. What else? Yeah, but just the toys. I think the whole thing about Transformers collecting has kind of become a thing of the past for me because I don't spend nearly enough time focusing on buying toys like I used 2 years ago when that used to be, oh, I have to have this and that and this and that and this and that and that and that and that. When really I've got what I wanted now, and I've settled down with that. I have 2 glass cabinets one over there, you can just pointing off camera, one over there and one over there, and what else do I need? And also as well, as you know, up top, the collection of NECA and McFarlane toys, which has been sitting there for years, and you know, that's fine. I don't need anything. I don't need any more toys. I'm kind of done with the whole toy collecting thing. I know that some people aren't, and that's fine if you want to continue going on, enjoying your pastime, then please, by all means, you have the right to do so, because it's what you enjoy that matters. But for me, personally, I think Transformers collecting has, it was fun while it lasted, but now I don't need it anymore. Because I'm not paying... I still love Transformers, but I don't love it nearly as much as I do in certain fields. Because the fiction is what it is, the toys are... They're going to outlive all of us. There is no doubt about that. The toy line is going to outlive all of us. They're going to keep releasing newer, upgraded toys of older characters, and it feels like the only thing that people do at this point is complain about that. But you know what? I think it's probably best to just accept that's probably going to be the future of that franchise. Is that anything Transformers does in any field of creative movement, I suppose, toy-wise, I think it's just going to be, it's going to be a re-update and a rehash and a retool of the older toys, and I'm really not up for that. I don't need the bajillionth release of an old character when I already have maybe one or two that I'm quite satisfied with, that I can appreciate for the flaws that they have. I think it's better, I think, to really appreciate the things that you've got in some fields that actually are appealing than try and say, oh, this should be done the way that I want it to be. Not the way that it should be, but the way that I want it to be. And that's always the downside, and also you feel kind of burned out with trying to keep up with every single line that's going and going and going. And for me, I don't need it. So, and lately, and going back on the life thing for a second, lately I'm still obsessing over, I'm still deeply interested in the arts, as you kind of already know. If you know me at all, then you know that I have a deep love for the arts and everything I'm trying to do. In fact, lately, I'm doing something different. I am drawing, if you can see it properly, a GoBot. Smallfoot. And I don't really draw GoBots, so this is something different. I'm working on something different and drawing other GoBots just to see how they will look in my style. So I don't know what else there is to say. I think that for me, I don't really need any more of the toys. And when it comes to TF Nation this year, I'm probably only going to just buy two things, and that's that. Probably the Iron Factory Scorponok and a G1 Trypticon, and that's it. Purely because I don't really need... I don't want to buy, and I don't want to keep obsessing over something that's just going to keep going on until the end of time, and you just can't catch up with it. And that's the reality of these things. Is the with an ongoing franchise, you can't keep up with every single toy that is released every single year, because they're always going to... I mean, it falls back to the whole thing of my collection will never be complete, because they're going to bring out this line, and then following on from that line, and then following on from that line, and that line, and that line. So no matter what you do, I mean, if you're the sort of person that likes to collect these things, fine. It's your happiness that you're entitled to. But I mean, for me personally, I'm just kind of walked away from all of it. And I just can't really keep up with it. And I think personally, not only is it an issue of space, but it's also just an issue of do I really need any of it? I probably don't, and maybe that's fine. But the things that I do have, that I do need, I actually like, and I can appreciate them for what they are, and I can appreciate them for the time that they were made. So I don't know. I mean, I still love Transformers. I'm gonna love Transformers now and always. But I think for me personally, I don't really need to buy any more of the toys. I think with me collecting, I'm pretty much done. I'm settled for life. I've got what I need. If, when the time comes, I have to sell any of what I have to make money for a financial crisis, then probably I will. But other than that, collecting-wise, I'm kind of done. I mean, I don't really need any more toys. And I don't really see them the way that I used to anymore. Because, I appreciate the toy for the character that they are a representation of, rather than, you know, here's a plastic toy of a character that's part of a very marketable toy line that's been around for donkey's years now, and just keep buying more of that toy of that same character, and keep piling on that whole collection of said toy of said character until you have no more room left to move. And that's, I don't know, that's an exhausting thing to really do, so I'm not really going to do anything about that. That's, if you want to do that, fine. But for me personally, I'm kind of done with collecting. I mean, I think with me and Transformers, I'm only interested in the things that I want to invest in, not what is currently popular. And I don't know. I think with me and Transformers and toys, I'm just really not a toy person anymore. I mean, I'm branching out into different interests that are dedicated to what I'm trying to do on a daily basis, and you know, I think as you get older, I think collecting really just becomes like a burden, and I say that in a way that, you know, I need to make some room, I need to make some money, I need to make some hard choices and get rid of what part of my childhood I've held on to all these years, and that's really all you can do. And when time comes that you need to make those choices, then you've got to make them. So, and try and analyze that any way you can. But I think for me, and all that I've just said, I want to do something. Well, I'll break it down in a much more easier way. With YouTube, I still want to make videos, but I want to try and find a way to make them to make better videos that are worth watching. Life is just life, so you can't really do anything about that. And as for collecting and where I stand with it, I'm happy with what I've got. I don't need any more. I don't need any more toys. I'm officially done buying Transformers, and that's all there really is to it. So yeah, that's kind of my whole throwing my obligatory name into the obligatory bucket. As fun as these always are, because I like responding to topics that are insightful and very meaningful, if they mean anything at all. So yes, until then, everybody, see you later.